Howdy, howdy. I'm a little exhausted tonight. Oh. Here's hoping we don't have that huge audio lag we had last week. All right, let's see here. This is always so tricky for me, and I don't know why. Here's an idea. It really is. Yep. Ronan, go lay down.
I'm here.
So I've got someone asking me about a commission real quick. I was just responding to him. But I was inspired by you and I reshaped my nails.
It's pretty.
They came out beautiful.
I love it. I did some more filing on my nails while I was sitting monitoring my email, not doing fuck all of anything.
I don't know why I didn't try this earlier because it's like a lot easier to type when you bring in the sides. So.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Matt's just now heading home.
Yep.
I literally just got home.
Don't mind me while I stuff my face.
No worries.
There's definitely something to be said for sous vide cooking at home.
You want to see something really nerdy that I bought myself while retail therapy shopping?
It is with it.
Absolutely.
It's a pop socket.
Ha, nice.
I like it.
Specifically in the bisexual pride flag colors.
Hi, folks.
Hello.
So we're live on the interwebs, just letting you know. Have y'all heard from Becky today? I haven't heard from her.
Nope.
Okay. That's all right. Everybody logged in to Foundry?
I am.
I might have goofed up earlier. I tried to log in and I didn't see a login specifically for me. I saw a player 8, so I picked that.
Mm-hmm.
And
I renamed it.
oh, okay. But it keeps on wanting me to select I don't know.
Oh, I need to actually assign a token to you. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Okay.
I need to go configure permissions and Okay, so you should have a token on the screen now, and you should be assigned to it. Hello, Becky.
Which of the 4 screens should I be looking at?
Well, you should be on the cityscape screen. The only one you should be able to get to at the moment.
Okay.
It says Chapter 2, Schisms. You are the token over, where is that functionality? Can't remember that. So this should be you here. So try to move Raphael around a little bit. See if you can move it. Yeah, good.
Okay.
If you double click your token, your character sheet should come open.
I'll pop it out, put it on another page.
And I need to go. All right, close, Raphael. Let's go token prototype vision. Do you have night vision?
Yes. Or dark vision, actually, is what I have.
60 feet or what?
Yes, 60 feet.
All right.
What you watching? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Totally paying attention now.
All right. Oh, I'll be right back. My.
I'm just trying to close down some stuff so I'm not draining resources. There's Becky.
Present.
Alright, guys, so just remember we're live. Not that it matters. You don't need to censor your language or anything.
Oh,
So,
fuck.
right? So, where we last left off, we had dealt with y'all were in the town of Felderin, which is on the eastern side of the Empire, right along the Ashkeeper Mountains. It's a range that separates the Krynn Dynasty from the Empire. And as y'all know, a Cold War has been heating up between the Empire and the Krynn Dynasty. Your group has been seeing the Righteous Brand, which is the Empire's military structure, force, if you will, showing more and more troops moving into your area. About the same time, though, some fires had started a few weeks before, in the fields. And as you all know, the Marrow Valley is really kind of like the breadbasket of the Empire, where all the food is produced for the Empire troops and the citizens throughout the realm. But these fires have been burning through the fields, and some had actually been near Felderin, and it's occurred in other towns not too far from here. But the Satora, and I never say that correctly, because I can't pronounce words worth a damn, had asked you to investigate the source of these fires. Whisper Thin, if you remember what's his name. And you have done some investigation and discovered that a doppelganger was behind it. After some crafty maneuvering on your part, on your end, you convinced the doppelganger not to to not continue setting fires, and you listened to its message that it had from the Krynn Dynasty that they treated his kind and others like him fairly and justly, and gave them a place in society, and didn't consider them monsters like the Empire does. Nonetheless, he fled after y'all let him go, but the town Shator, which is basically like the Starosta, I think that's how you say it, kind of like the town mayor. They're appointed by the Empire. He was visibly upset that y'all had let him go. There was nobody for him to present to the town as the wrongdoer. But he managed to talk down the populace and sent them on their way. And you found yourselves once again without much to do, but spending some time recovering from your war wounds and the battles you had out in the fields not too far from the town, out in the Marrow Valley. This morning you find yourselves at the familiar inn that y'all like so much. You either have two. You can go to the Glassy Grass Inn, which is kind of where the local farmers go. It's kind of it's a seedy old bar in the town. Or you can go back to the Goldfield Tavern and Lodge. Which do y'all wish to do? Or are you going to have other plans on your own? So what do y'all wish to do at this point?
So, am I automatically in the party, or am I being roleplay introduced later?
We'll get you in a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's go to Greenfield.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I don't think we had anything extra that we need to get done.
Well, we need to get paid.
Yeah, dude is trying to
That we
stick
do.
us.
Now,
Told you.
All right, so y'all need to find the Zarosta and get him to pay you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me 1 second while I pull up my notes, because I accidentally closed them out when my computer was updating.
I just got another commission.
So,
Yay.
along the Ashkeeper Peaks, like I said, it's off to the east of y'all, and you wanted to go to Greenfield?
Yes, please.
And what for?
Because Pandora said so. I follow Pandora.
Ah, okay. All right, give me 1 second. So, as you're,
I guess it is, honey.
I'm gonna mute you real quick, Becky. As you're moving about town, doing your own business and stuff, you're approached by a young man, and he tells you that the Starosta would like to speak to you at the festival hall, so he can one, compensate you for your efforts, and two, he says there's something that he and the sister would like to have you, Sister Wendy Serpentin Wind, would like to ask you to do for them. Something to do with some orphans up in Talonstad, but he knows no more than that.
All right. Well, let's go talk to him.
Hold please real quick. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm on board with that. My battle axe that I bought last session is not in my inventory.
Is it in your D&D Beyond inventory?
No, you said you'd have to add it because it was a special Krynn Dynasty silver battle axe thing.
Did we drop it into your inventory?
I do not see it.
I wish I'd known this ahead of time. So I'll have to look at that later. All right, now that could take some time. I'll have to look at my notes because I don't have them available in front of me right now. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Next time, please let me know ahead of time so if I forget something like that, I can follow up on it. All right,
So you
so
might want to repull my
Wait.
character.
Um,
You also might want to repull my character because those are the wrong spells, and those are from well over a game ago. I'm not sure why.
okay, 1 second.
sorry. Warren, did you say that we've rested up and everything?
Yes, you've had several days to rest, a couple of days to rest.
right. I'm going to go ahead and hit a long rest then because I still have one death save failure showing up.
Sorry, I thought my cat opened my door.
Does your cat have opposable thumbs?
No, that's why I was kind of freaking out.
I'm down 2 cats today and I'm feeling kind of emotional about it, you guys. X came and got his cats.
Okay.
Like for good or just for visit?
Okay, so how do you say that name? Hothkethcum? The fox?
Kim? Just call me Hath. It's fine.
Hath? Okay. Or Raphael?
Raphael.
All right. So you have Raphael Den Williams. So that's your character's name, right?
Right.
All right. So let me put that.
And Din is not a middle name. It's in the Krynn Dynasty. It's the way of saying
your
family name is.
Yes.
Oh, so you're Krynn as well.
Yeah, he rolled that on his background. All right. All right. So Raphael, you've recently made your way into the Empire. How do you feel you arrived in the town of Felderin? Like I said, it's the breadbasket of the Empire.
Are there any libraries or large collections of knowledge nearby?
Not really.
Not here, no. There's more up to like in Zadash, up in the capital of the Empire, places like that.
Okay, so we'll just say that I'm browsing through town on my way to a library.
Okay, so how do you feel that you arrived in the Empire versus still being in the Krynn Dynasty?
I gave that some thought earlier.
Uh-huh.
So my mom was executed for being a traitor, and my family, save for my sister, fled from the Krynn Dynasty so that we weren't executed too.
Okay.
But that's been a while. So I've just been traveling around the Empire, trying to learn as much as I can.
Itinerant scholar, I dig it.
Okay. So you 1 second. So Benotto's apothecary, the local apothecary. You made your way there to get some of your supplies replenished, Raphael. And it's kind of like in a conversation, you learn that the town is run by a Starosta, and he is actually looking to hire people to do some jobs. And the owner, a little halfling, kind of informed me it might be a good place for you to go to find out some options, perhaps to replenish your purse, because getting here has been quite expensive.
Makes sense. I thank him kindly, and I make my way over.
All right. Well, asking around town, you eventually find out that he's located in the feast hall. You find out the town actually has 3 different halls. The feast hall is really a lot of celebrations occur, but you make your way there. Uh, as y'all arrive, as y'all trickle into the town hall, you see there's several individuals kind of moving around about. Let me get my notes here real quick. You see an older a female. She's obviously human. She has long, wavy auburn hair, and she has from this distance she has a bit of a weathered, sun-kissed skin about her. She stands quite tall. Well, 5 feet, 5 feet 5 inches. Not quite tall. Sorry, but she's very lean. As you walk kind of past her, she nods, and a very strong odor of tobacco wafts off of her. And she smiles to each of you, and she's standing next to the starosta of the town, Whisper Thin. And as you each come in, he's like smiles and greets you. Oh, my friends, come in. And they kind of lead you to the back of the area, because there's some other locals in here talking and chatting. It's like an open air kind of hall, if you will. As you come in, Raphael, you see a small crowd of individuals gathered off in the back corner, and a few other people here and there kind of talking and chatting amongst themselves. The locals don't seem to be paying the others much attention, but as you move in, you're new to town, and a lot of eyes kind of fall upon you. And then you see and you know this town's predominantly populated by halflings. A long blonde hair halfling kind of walks up to you and goes, hello. Can I help you?
Yes, kindly. What do you have to drink besides ale?
Oh, well, that would be more at the taverns here in town. Right now, this is not really functioning as a feast hall until this evening, because it is early in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Are we all there?
You each kind of are meandering in as you each arrive. Are you new to town, sir? She says to you.
Yes, I am.
Anna is my name. You? If you don't mind me asking, of course.
Raphael Din Williams.
And she's, where are you from? I don't recognize the accent.
All over, nowhere specific.
Oh, well, I've been here all my life. I haven't been all over. But are you here perhaps to talk to the starosta? She points back in the corner where there's a small group of people gathered. All types, actually. You see what appears to be the most striking in two individuals is a white-haired individual, very stark-looking, pale. Another is something you've only seen in the Krynn Dynasty, but rarely. Looks like a tall, feline, upright, bipedal cat off in the corner. And then off to the side, a short, squat goblin. But the town leader, as indicated by Anna to you, is right there in the center. Another halfling who's actually sitting up, legs crossed, on a table, and almost puts him at the same height as the other individual, except for the really large feline creature, which stands quite towering. 7 feet, I think, over everybody else. Probably the tallest individual in the room.
6'10".
6'10".
And
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and climb up on a table as well.
You're gonna sit or stand on the table?
Oh, I think I'll stand.
Okay. As you're watching this, you see the goblin jump up on the table and stand up, putting herself.
Juggle.
Huh?
And juggle.
And juggle. All right.
I assume that the leader of the town is the one that I was told to come see.
Yes.
Yes?
Anna
Okay.
says he's the one sitting on the table, the halfling there. She points to him. Would you like me to introduce you?
Yes, please.
Follow me. She kind of hops up and walks briskly, a little short legs go as she walks over there. She plows right through the crowd of individuals, and she goes, and you did tell her your name was Raphael, didn't you? Or did
Right,
you?
Raphael Den Williams. I said my full name.
Okay, and she turns, she goes, and she goes, whisper thin, Starosta, this is Raphael Den Williams, a traveler of all over. And she smiles. And he looks up at you, and the conversations have kind of halted. What do you look like, Raphael?
Brown hair with a slight silver sheen to it. Golden and silver eyes. Pale skin with a silver sheen. Really accenting my Azamar feature set.
So is the Asmar feature set obvious, or do you pass as a
Yes,
human?
it's very obvious.
And how's it obvious?
There's a silver sheen to everything.
Okay.
Aside from the eyes being golden and silver,
Okay.
which is very otherworldly.
All right. So y'all see this gorgeous specimen of humanity, but with a slight silver sheen and glowing eyes, standing before you, and everybody's in the whole hall is kind of just enthralled by this individual.
I have a question. Would Pandora and I, being from the Krynn Dynasty, recognize Raphael's origin?
So make a give me a second here. Let's make a intelligence check, because you've been out for a short time. Maybe you've kind of forgotten. So Raphael, just so you know, also, if you open up your character sheet, okay, so you see the word intelligence on your character sheet.
Right, of course.
If you click on the word intelligence, it's going to
Okay.
pop up for you. It says, hey, do you want to do an ability check or a saving throw? Click on ability check,
All right.
and then it will say, hey, here's your formula. You leave that alone. Do you have any situational modifiers, like add 1d4 because somebody, cast bless, something like that on you, right? Then you have roll mode. A blind GM roll is where you don't know what you rolled, but I do. And that's generally what you're going to do on checks and things in my game, okay?
Okay.
Saving throws, unless I tell you otherwise, you can make public, okay? Private GM roll is you know the roll and I know the roll, but nobody else does. Self roll is just for you, okay? All right,
So you want a blind GM roll right now?
you can try it. You don't need to do for anything. I just had the other two players.
So there's also below that advantage, normal, and disadvantage.
That is correct. So that works as normal. Advantage is it rolls 2d20 and it keeps the higher of the two. Disadvantage, it rolls 2d20 and keeps the lower of the two. And normal just rolls 1d20 and adds all your modifiers, okay?
Gotcha.
So go ahead and just do a normal roll just for the heck of it. There you go. You'll see in the chat box, the upper left-hand corner, the two little bubbles on the right-hand side of the Foundry interface. It'll show you a chat box what you rolled, 1d20 plus 1, and it shows an 8. If you click on the 1d20 in the chat plus 1, that little area, it'll explode that for you and show you what you rolled exactly. You rolled a 7, okay?
I don't see that because it was for yours eyes only.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do a normal.
That's okay.
Do a normal roll. Make it public so you can see it. I think you should.
Okay.
You should see how that works real quick.
Sure. Ability check. Public roll. Normal. 18.
Now, if you click on the 1d20 plus 1, you'll see you rolled a 17.
Well, that makes sense, of course, because it's plus 1.
Exactly. But now you can see exactly what you rolled. And you want to do that sometimes to check when you do damage and you cast spells, things like that, to make sure that it's calculating your bonuses correctly, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, the little halfling that's sitting on the table with a goblin standing next to him kind of looks up at you after the introduction and says, well, welcome to Felderin. Are you passing through, traveling, or did you hear about my need for people to help out?
Heard of your need for people to help out, but generally passing through otherwise.
Yeah, well,
Depends on what the situation is.
You couldn't be in better company. These individuals here have, my good friends, if I may, he says, have helped me out with many problems in the town. But the sister here, and he points off to a young lady nearby, who then approaches up to y'all, has a need. There are some orphans off in the town of Talonstad, to the northeast of us, not too far really, just a couple of days of travel into the mountains, that need escorting. As the game master goes back to his maps real quick.
Has Whisperthin already said as much to us? Is this new information for us as well?
No, just starting this out. You heard that he was hiring and needed people to do some stuff in the area.
And you said these orphans are where?
They are on the in the town of Talonstad.
And where do they need
So
escorted
that
to?
would mean that if we go back to Worcester,
They need escorting to the town of Allfield, which is to the south of Felder.
but before we can take another bid, we need to make sure that we get paid for the last.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
let's go
so-
find them.
He makes sure that you get paid right then and there.
So we each get 50 gold pieces.
That is correct. Because Allfield is a little further away from the incursions that are currently going on from the Empire, or from the Krynn Dynasty into the Empire. We felt that it was important that we. Anyway, the sister says they've had some problems in Talonstad, and the orphans needed to be evacuated for their own safety.
What kind of issues are you having?
Like I said, I don't know much about exactly, but sister, and she comes walking up, and she kind of nods to all of you. Like I said before, she has long, wavy auburn hair, brown eyes, a deep brown. Of course, she has a rough, weathered, sun-kissed skin. Her angles of her face are sharp, but they don't really stand out by any means. And like I said, she smells of tobacco.
Yeah, don't we all?
One second.
Sounds fun. I'm in.
She kind of walks up and she goes, "Hi, Wendy, Serpent Wind." She nods to all of you. She goes, I run the sisters' orphans. It's an abbey, if you will. Several of them throughout the Empire, actually. We take in children who are rejected in the Empire, either by their parents or by the communities which they're born in. Most of them have some type of affliction on their bodies. Even in this day and age, people are still very superstitious. Children who have cleft palates or large birthmarks on their face, or mutations on their skin or limbs, or who are crippled, or any number of things. We take them in for, well, most locals don't treat such children kindly. But Talonstad is a town that is actually lived in by many Dragonborn who come from the fallen empire, the Dragonborn Empire. But nonetheless, there have been some incursions near it, and our abbey is not too far from the town where our children are kept. And it's of all types of children, actually. But we need an escort to get them out of the abbey and back down to the town of Allfield, which is to the north, so to the southwest of here. Several days' trip. And we're willing to pay 200 gold each to you to escort and protect the children.
I'd be happy to help out.
I'm in.
Okay. She goes, "Oh, well then meet me at the Goldfield Inn this evening, and we'll make preparations and depart in the morning." She smiles. So, who's she kind of looks at all of you. Are all you willing to help? All of you?
Yeah.
You betcha.
And we have one other in our little escort party.
Yes, sir.
Do what now? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
We have one other person in our little group that can help.
Oh, very,
He's
very
really
well.
good at protection.
Well, bring them to the inn, and we'll make the arrangements. I have a few things in town I must get together, and we must get wagons and things of that sort arranged, and pack mules and oxen to bring them. Fortunately, the Empire will be providing some supplies for us. I do appreciate everything you're doing for us. But I will tell you, though, that because of the incursions, it is a dangerous country, so stock up on weapons and equipment that you need to protect the children. It is really about them. I will see you in the end.
All right. See you later tonight.
And she kind of bows humbly and walks away. You didn't see any obvious symbol of her religion exposed anywhere on her body, by the way.
Out of curiosity, is there a way to turn down the music?
Yes.
The little gear icon all the way over to the right.
Uh-huh.
I will
in
turn
Foundry.
it down though a little bit for you. Did that help any?
No, it's still the same volume on my end.
Is it? Oh, let me check one other tool. I have multiple interfaces open. Give me 1 second here. So go here, and I need to set sound. Well, it's kind of low here. Yeah, so you'll see like a little musical note on the right-hand side.
Oh, okay.
Click
Got it.
that, and you'll see playlist, and you can turn it down.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Oh, so much better.
Sorry about that.
No, it's not your fault. Just downside of being autistic. Too much of the same sound causes me a headache.
Ah.
I will be right back.
All right, since we're still missing Matthew, let's take a 5-minute break and give him more time to appear, okay?
All right.
All right.
Perfect.
Where is OBS? Real quick. And has he responded yet on his ETA? Okay.
Yeah, it said 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and then he'll need to set up. Okay. So anyway, what do y'all wish to do at this point? Do y'all need to do anything in town before you meet up with the sister later on?
Well, I have a question.
Fire
More
away.
of a game question. How much gold do I have? We didn't discuss that yesterday.
So did you use the standard equipment purchase, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that left you with 10. You've been spending
Oh,
money.
no, it's the cleric one.
Yeah, that's right. That's fine. So that left you with basically 10 on average, maybe less. You've been traveling. You've done a few adventures here and there. So I'll say you probably have at least 50 extra gold in your pocket at this time.
Okay.
Baller. Well, I'm not at all convinced that I'm coming back here to stay. Like, I mean, I know we'll be back for our 200 gold apiece, but
Yeah.
do I need to pack up my little apartment?
But you've been reading? Well, it's only 2 silver a week to rent. You could pay up for a while and leave supplies in there. It is,
Yeah. All right, I'll do that.
How many weeks do you want to pay for?
I'm going to pay for 4.
4 weeks. All right, go ahead and deduct that. Remind me when I forget, because you know me, I will forget.
Let me see. Can I make a journal entry? Yes, I can.
Let's see, I have a crossbow and a mace.
Well, now you're just bragging.
No, I'm not bragging at all.
All right.
It's not even a good crossbow.
So, Warren, I've added that as a journal note on my character, so I won't forget. You know what? While we're here, I kind of think I'd like to have a crossbow as well. I mean, I do love my short bow,
Uh-huh.
but it seems like having a crossbow would be handy to have. So I'm going to do a little shopping before we meet up.
Okay. Becky, are you present?
I think she's getting August.
Yeah.
Oh, she's there.
No, I'm just sitting here munching on chips.
So,
So I'm just waiting on Matthew.
but you're fine. So your spells have material components that are required. You may want to go through and see any of the spells you've chosen or plan to cast in the future. Hello, Matthew. You have the required components for them.
Yes, I have those written down.
Make sure, because some of them cost
Most of the
money.
stuff I can easily gain on the road. Right. Some of them do, but not the ones that I'm using. Most of those are things that I can find on the way.
Okay.
Like a charred branch. Yeah. Rose petals.
All right.
Stuff like that.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
We went and talked to Whisper Thin while you slept in this morning after you had several days to rest from the whole shapeshifter thing. And Whisper Thin introduced us to like Sister Wendy Beckett, who has some orphans that need to be escorted somewhere safer. Where they're at is like totally close to raiding parties from the dynasty. So they're going to pay us 200 gold a piece to go and escort the kids.
And protect.
And they're disabled. So
You can do that.
Wait, they're disabled?
well,
You were told some of them had disabilities, such as arms, legs. They were born with various birth defects, and even though even in these modern times of the Empire, people are still superstitious of children with defects like this. Sometimes
So right, we're just, making sure we're equipped and that our rooms are paid for before we meet up at the place tonight to set out to do the thing.
Cool. Yeah, totally paid for my room at a late night.
So I have a net. We can just like put all the kids in a net and carry them over.
It's a little Krampus for my style, but I'll go with it.
You're carrying them. Let's hope you can hold that much weight.
Ooh.
Okay, so do y'all wish to make your way to the inn, or did you all buy? So if you're buying equipment, why is?
Well, I want to buy something. I just don't know what yet.
I'm buying a light crossbow and some regular old bolts.
Okay. Hey Becky, you need to turn your camera on because right now you're not showing up in chat at all.
By the way, hello, Raphael.
Okay, sorry.
There you go.
There you go.
But you can mute your other channel and you're getting some feedback. You might want to turn on touch to, like a key activated touch to talk kind of thing. All right. Anyway, Raphael, that's Nick. He is the one that. How would you describe how you look, Nick? I had a hard time describing how you look.
Got white hair, about 5'8". Just kind of imagine just like a young battle-hardened like soldier.
So we'll go with 5'10". Brown hair with silver sheen, golden and silver eyes, pale skin with a silver sheen. Yeah, it's very apparent that I'm not entirely human.
Very cool. I am totally human. Though not for much longer.
I'm trying to remember where the thing is to update my character sheet. I've done it before. I know I can find it.
Sorry, my
Warren
dogs.
would know.
My dogs went crazy barking, and I had to go hush them up. So,
Hey.
what was your question?
I've done it before, but I cannot remember where the thing is where I can paste in the stuff for my character sheet to bring it over from beyond.
Okay, so what you do is you open your character sheet up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, for example, I will just do you, Blix. I'm going to double click your character, open it up. You see the B, the big red B? Hold the Alt key down.
Oh, of course, there it is.
You hold your Alt key down, then you click on the B. It'll open up the JSON file. Copy that content, Control A, Control C, then click on the B normally, and then it'll say JSON with the green text above it. Then paste that content in there, then close your character sheet and reopen it, and it'll have the new info in it. Okay? Remember now, make sure and use D&D Beyond as your sole source of truth. Anyway, any questions? So you find yourselves making your way to the Goldfield Inn this evening after doing some shopping around town, resting, talking to people you know. There's no other areas you need to run, correct?
So I'm gonna buy a dagger and a quarterstaff or light hammer, or maybe 1d4. No, not a light hammer. That one's too light. So which one weighs less? No. Properties versatile. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm going to do a quarterstaff.
Okay. So once you buy your inventory in D&D Beyond, and make sure you update your character in a Foundry via the method we just talked about. If you need me to walk you through it, I can do that. Nick,
Yes, please.
Matthew, are you good to go?
I am good.
All right.
By the
So-
way, we did get our 50 gold pieces from Whisperthin.
Right. And you have a new job that will pay you 200 gold pieces each to escort orphans from Talistan, which is up in the Ashkeeper Peaks mountains to the east, all the way down to the southeast of southwest of all the city of Allfield, which is it's a long trip basically. So to update your characters, okay? For example, you open up after you update D&D Beyond, that's important first. Then you open your character sheet. By your character's portrait, you'll see a black box with a letter B in it that's red. Hold your Alt key down on your keyboard, then click on the red B. It will open a screen up. In the screen is JSON. It's a language developers use to communicate information. Control A, Control C. So use your Control key, hit A, select all. You can also right-click and select all, right-click and copy. Then, once you have that in your copy buffer, let go of your keyboard and your mouse, close that screen out, then click on the B. Just click it normally. You'll see a D&D Beyond character import modal pop up, okay? You'll see some green text, and below that green text, you'll see a box. It's empty with the letters JSON next to it. Click in that box. It'll highlight it with like a reddish orange color. Click in the box and hit Control V to paste your content in there. Control V to paste. Then hit Enter, close that window out. Reopen your character sheet, and your information should now be updated. Also notice when you open up your character import tool, there's some options, overwrite, leave existing items in, things of that sort. So if you don't want D&D Beyond to overwrite your your Foundry character sheet, you want to make sure and leave existing options is enabled. All right.
I might need that repeated back to me again because I haven't figured out how to. I just figured out how to add it to my character sheet on D&D Beyond.
All right. So
I can help you with it at the next break.
That's fine.
okay. So you make your way to the Golden Field Inn and Tavern Lodge, if you will. You you see the sister there at a table. She sees you all walk in. She stands up. This time, though, you notice she's in a little bit more finery. Her clothing is a little bit more refined, but it's sorry. It's been a week or so.
It has been a week.
It has, hasn't it?
Been the longest week.
I'm sorry to hear that. You see her stand up, and she's got these flowing robes about her that kind of cascade off her body in a very feminine kind of way. But you also see slung to her side what appears to be a beautiful silvered mace off to the side. And she kind of waves you over to her table. Again, all of you noticed, unlike a lot of priests, she doesn't have her symbol openly displayed. "Oh, my friends, sit down, she says to all of you as you come in. Over time, each of you assemble and find yourselves into the Goldenfield Inn and Lodge, Tavern and Lodge, and sitting down at the table with her. There's food and fresh fruit and flagons of ale and wine or glasses of wine as you desire, and she's providing to the table. And after you've all kind of filtered in from your day's purchasing or work in the town, you find yourself sitting down with her at the table. Locals are slowly filling in. You see some of the higher ranking Empire military officers have made their way in. You also notice there's a Dawnfather priest here. That's Palor. And you know who this priest is. He's a rather grating individual. His name is Joffrey. And he kind of he had well, not a bad fellow in general. He's very much all about the empire and the Palor and being strong and things of that sort. And he's very boisterous in the crowd. You can think of him. He seeks attention, but he does do good in general. And in the town, and it's slowly
So
filling
just
up with
borderline toxic masculinity.
Yes, you could say that. Yes, absolutely. He kind of walks over to where y'all are, and he goes, "Ah, sister, it is so good to see you again. I am glad you made it here. I've seen you've bought a round for your friends already, or I would have gladly bought one for all of you. But since you've provided, no need. Palor's blessing be upon you. May you be strong, and may your weapons always be true. Blessed be to all of you." And he smiles, and she's just kind of like taken aback. Before you can even get a word in, he's already moved on to another table, and you're going to hear him just repeating the same phrase over and over again. Most people just nod in this general direction and go on about their conversations. And she looks back at you, and she's kind of smiling. And all of you notice there's a symbol now hanging from her chest that you had not seen before. It's a holy symbol.
What's the holy symbol?
One we recognize?
Yes, give me a second.
Okay.
It is the symbol of pausing.
Oh, whoop. Hang on.
It is the symbol of slight delay.
Buffering.
Symbol of hold, please.
Hang on. Yes. Come on. So
It is a
it's
503 access denied.
404 page not found. All right, so you see it is a round pendant with a star flaring out all around about it. It almost has all these multifaceted gems. At the bottom of the pendant, hanging from her neck, is a little round pendant, if you will. At the bottom of it, it's bluish in color. At the top, it's of a golden sunrise kind of color. And in the center of it is a circular, bright golden circle with silver radiating spikes all about, representing the Dawnfather, Palor.
It's very sparkly. I like it.
And she kind of, yeah. And so she goes, and as he walks away, you notice she takes it and puts it back under her robes, and kind of out of the way. And she goes, so each of you agreed to help out, and I really appreciate it. Our children are needing help, and like I said, they need to be escorted from the Talonstadt, which is to the east of here, a couple of days travel and into the mountains. It's not too treacherous, although there are some bandit activities. And as I mentioned, because I'm paying so much, the reason why is because there has been some incursions from the Krynn Dynasty and some of their soldiers, and then some friction also with some of the Empire, with some more of the radical Empire guards and folks who honestly believe that children are a curse upon the land, and that is just not true, as we all know. The Starosta Whisperthin told me I can count on your aid, and that she looks back at all of you. She goes, and that your minds were open and would not pose a threat to the children. 200 gold, I believe, is of what I mentioned to you earlier as your compensation.
Each.
Oh yes,
Yes.
each for sure. It will be a dangerous route there and out. So, nonetheless, are these terms acceptable?
Yes, I think we can all agree with that.
Barely.
I've done a few escorting jobs before, and it's always been an adventure.
So, just so you know, the job will not be complete until we reach Allfield, which is to the southwestern.
You'll be joining us as well?
Oh, the entire routes.
Okay.
There is no direct route to Talonstad from here, so we will be doing some cross-country travel.
I'm okay with that.
Are we doing this on foot?
Well, we will need to be we will need to bring some of our some wagons with us, and there will be a bit of a crossing, a ford, if you will, of the Skyrim River, up probably by the forest, not too far from here, to the north of us. There's an area there that we possibly can ford across the river there.
From what I know of the area, does that sound about right?
Let's see here. As the game master looks at your character sheet. Wow, 1 second. Why don't you give me a So, yeah, give me an intelligence check for what you know in general.
This is straight intelligence.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at you, like, you have history, but you're not trained in it.
Yeah.
Investigation, you would need to go, like, research information, but that's not really what that is. So, yeah, just off the top of your head would be an intelligence check.
All right. You want that blind, right?
No, you make it public. I'm good with that.
Oh. Cool. 1 normal intelligence.
That's our Nick.
That's not bad.
So Nick, you're like, that sounds good to me.
Wait.
The
Do I
maps,
get the sense?
the maps you've seen don't really show a lot of land between here and the mountains, so it must be smooth and easy going, right? What do you think?
Do I get the sense that she's being very honest and frank with us?
Well, you
Or
can
she
make an insight check.
Does it have to be insight? Couldn't it be perception? Oh, same thing.
Clearly have not woken up yet.
Clearly not.
Some coffee or whatever the equivalent is.
All right, so you're kind of observing her mannerisms, Blix, and so, by the way, just so you know, Raphael, I generally don't just allow everybody to roll for things. Like maybe 1 or 2 people can do stuff, and it's really wise for the group to do some synergies with who are trained and stuff. That kind of rewards those who've taken the time to train and skills. So just be aware of that. Yeah. I'm not a fan of everybody roll, and of course you're going to get success from that, right?
Right.
All right. So anyway, Blix, you kind of watching her mannerisms. She's nervous, but you don't think she's being dishonest. She's just nervous, and she's kind of looking about the crowd, and that's when you notice that there's individuals like, kind of under their breath saying, "Oh, she's one of those who deal with the cursed ones. Pfft, they should just all be put down. They bring a disfavor from the gods to the empire." And it's just conversations like that. But you notice those conversations are not happening from the locals. It's happening from several of the empire individuals who are here this evening. The most boisterous of these individuals is an older half elf who's kind of sitting down and currently talking to I've lost my note. Talking to Joffrey, the guy you met earlier, Joffrey, and he's while not being overly boisterous, he's certainly not trying to temper his conversation, and he's the one that's talking about mostly stirring the crowd up about her and the cursed children.
Poisoning.
I say quietly to the group, I'm trying to keep like an open mind about the Empire, but douchebags like this really make it hard.
And she kind of leans forward and goes, "They're not all like that, my child. There are those in the Empire that are good. I mean, how else do you think I can afford to pay each of you 200 gold? There are many here willing to put forth the money needed to help. But then you have the more stringent, radical, if you will, religious individuals. And that's when you hear off in the end, anyway, I think women should be the ones who stay at home and do nothing more than serve and be of service to their families. The idea of educating, that's just ridiculous. What a waste. What a waste. And then you see several people get up and kind of move away from that table, and like they're not.
I go and sit at that table.
You're gonna walk over to where they are.
Yep. With my tiny little goblin tits half out, I'm gonna go sit down at that table.
You just pull them out.
So cute.
So
I gotta lean back in my chair and just watch this.
you walk over to the table, sit up on the chair, and your chin's right at the table height, and they all kind of stop talking and look down at you. What?
Everybody starts looking down at me.
The one who's been doing the whole ruckus, he goes, what manner of beast is this? I'm telling you, the realm is falling apart. A goblin here? What is wrong? Where's Sotora? He should have. What? Then he stands up, pulls a dagger out, and points it at you.
I stalk up behind her and stand over her and look menacingly at him.
I'm gonna go up behind him, put my hand on his shoulder.
He can't look
I'll
at
go
all of
to
you.
the
and
into the table so I'm close by too.
he kind of sheaths his dagger and sits back down. Sorry, I got lots of notes here. 1 second. You see Joffrey, he's like, oh, my friend, just calm down, sit down. These individuals here have actually done the Empire great service, as I understand it from the Starosta. He told me himself that they helped foil a Krynn Dynasty. Was it a conspiracy, he says to you in general, as he points
Yes,
to
you could call it a conspiracy. It was probably a conspiracy, definitely a plot.
So,
Almost certainly nefarious.
So they have done a great deed for the Empire. And even though this guy is a bit boisterous, what he says next kind of, he kind of, is impressive. He goes, "You cannot, my friend," he says to others, "judge a book by its cover. That is wrong in the eyes of the Dawn Father. You must remember all things are of a balance." And this,
Balance.
and this guy, he sits back down, and he says, now, Taryn. Let's not, stir up things where they don't need to be. And he sits back down. Now, this guy who's like being a bit abrasive, he is an older half elf. You notice he has long black hair, but it's formed up into a mohawk that kind of goes down and around the back to his neck. He has these piercing green eyes about him. His skin, though, is a soft, whitish, pinkish hue, almost semi-translucent. You can see the capillaries beneath it, wherever his skin's exposed. He has a very square face, but you notice he has scars where he's like taken damage or somewhat disfigurement on his face. And you notice on his arm there's a burn mark of some sort, but it's been like when people like take a tattoo and they try to recover a tattoo and it doesn't always turn out pretty. It's like it's a scar on top of a scar. Whatever this burn mark on his arm is, it's almost as if it's been intentionally reburned or scarred over. And he goes, perhaps you're right. And he sits down and he puffs up his cloak over his shoulders and it covers his body, and sits down and he goes, you can see he's kind of uncomfortable, and he goes, I am sorry. What is your name? He says to you, Blix.
I'm Blix. Can I buy you a drink?
I am good, thank you. I have partaked enough, perhaps. My tongue gets a little loose when I've had too much to drink. And he looks over at his friend and goes, perhaps tomorrow we can have our discussions. And he goes, good evening to...
perhaps tomorrow you can have your discussions.
Yes. Good evening. He stands up and he briskly walks away, making his way up the stairs to the second floor. Where obviously, he must be staying for the evening. The other gentleman stands up and goes, "Yeah, the evening is perhaps late for me. I've had a few too many drinks too early. Adieu to all of you, and I wish you well on your journeys. May Palor's blessing and light be upon you. May dawn find you early and gently." And he walks away.
I go back to the table with the others. I don't trust those fuckers. They're going to mess with us at some point along this journey. You know they are.
Yes. I have questions about the lady that's going with us too. So we'll see.
I too have questions. I just don't know what they are.
All right, so we're back at the table with the lady.
Oh, wait a minute. I have an intelligence of 8. I have no questions whatsoever.
So Nick, are you trying to be a bit quiet about that? I have questions about her, or do you just say that in general?
Oh no, that was just
That was player, not character.
Oh, okay.
how do you want us to differentiate that in the live game?
You can just say
Easy,
that.
stay in character.
Just stay in character, bitch. Just say, hey, out of character, blah 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 blah. How's that?
All right. So we go sit back down, or do we need to go ahead and get things set up and help the lady get all the kids packed up and ready to go?
Well, I think we have to
Well,
go and
first
get the
we have to
kids
venture to the town where the kids are.
and then escort them
That's like
and tell us
You,
out.
she tells you as you sit down asking these questions. She goes, "Well, we have to go to Talonstad, to the east of here in the mountains, to gather up the children and bring them down from the abbey there, the nunnery, the abbey, whatever you want to call it. We'll bring them down from there and back into the empire to the town of Alpha, to the south, southeast, to the southwest of here."
And there's another abbey that we're delivering them to.
Oh yes. It's of our sisters.
And you have all the wagons and supplies that you'll need for the children.
Well, the Empire is providing. The garrison here locally will be providing us some supplies. They can't provide any men of arms and stuff, which is why I'm hiring you to help protect us.
So we're basically just going to be walking by, protecting them while they're in this caravan.
Yes, it's a basic escort job, if you will. But you do come highly recommended.
We did so well on our last job.
Well, I'm glad we have wagons. I don't have to carry all the kids in my net.
That's a bonus.
You know you could. You know
Right.
you could.
I could still do it.
Well, let's do the thing.
Yes.
Okay.
When do we leave?
Pandora, can I like parrot on your shoulder? Because I have tiny little legs. And it's a long walk.
I'm sure you can ride on one of the wagons.
Ooh, yes, wagon. It's not
Okay.
as fun. Whatever.
Let's take another quick 5-minute break, and then we'll pick up.
Oh, you have height of
So 5-minute break, and we'll pick up after that. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I will make a small little trip whenever we do level.
You want to do a small little trip? What?
When we do hit the next level, I need to make a small trip.
Ah, and where would that be?
Off to some people that I know.
All right.
Part of my backstory.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so anything else this evening, or are you done for the evening?
Yes.
Done.
All right, so you find you find someone's got a car in the background. What's been going on there? You find yourselves gathered together back at the Golden Inn where the sister had asked you to meet. As y'all make your way towards the end, early in the morning, before the sun's even risen, if you will, you see there's several wagons out front with heavy oxen, 2 oxen per wagon, 4 wagons. And they're all out front. You see the sister present, and you see some other individuals who've either been hired or volunteered. You're not sure to come along. And as you all approach, it's oh, so good to see you. Sometimes I've hired and people have not haven't actually shown the next day. And she says, you can take your place amongst the wagons if you like, and we'll be departing shortly. She smiles. What do y'all do?
I go find a place on one of the carts.
So there's 4 of them, like I said. Do you have a particular one you want to be in?
I want to be in the lead cart.
Okay. So Blix is in the lead cart. And of course, I got some other ones.
I'll get in the rear cart.
Okay. So you're
I'm
in the
gonna
rear.
climb in the back of the lead with Blitz.
I'll get in the one in front of Matthews.
Okay. Raphael?
I'll get in.
I'll get
the
number
one with the-
3.
I'm sorry.
Where'd you want to go?
Right. I guess I'll get in the one that's second to last.
All right. Second to last. Okay. So we got Blix and Pandora in the first one. We have the third one will be Raphael, and the fourth one will be Kate and Nick. Correct? All right.
Sounds good.
So after a few moments of last-minute supplies, equipment being put in the wagons, things being checked, you find that you're suddenly jerked a little bit as the wagon hands begin moving the oxen along. But you notice they're not actually like sitting on a stool or on the leaderboard of the wagon itself. They're actually pulling it with reins in the front of it, walking with the 2 oxen per wagon, and they begin walking out of town. You think you could probably actually walk faster than the pace of these creatures, but hey, perhaps later you think that you'll get down and walk. But up in the front wagon, you find yourselves with the sister, Blix and Pandora. The rest of you, the company you're with is pretty bland, although you find that they talk about their families here in the town of Felderin, and they're just helping out. You recognize one of the individuals who the young boy Quentin, who had been accused of setting fires in the fields, but as you later proved was innocent. He's actually one of the individuals who's volunteered, although he says to you, Kate, that his father kind of made him do this, so as a way to keep him busy, and so his hands would not be idle. But you, this pace
I
continues on.
regale him with tails.
You want to repeat that, Kate?
I said I'm going to regale him with tales in order to keep him busy as we travel.
No, so
He's a young buck. It gives him an idea to, stretch his. Yeah.
Well,
Well, like my travels, because I'm always looking for knowledge. So
he goes,
want me to write it down?
you can cast spells and things of that sort, can you not? He says to you.
Yes, I can.
Where did you learn such abilities?
Yes, I can. I was taught by my family member, and then I went to school and spent many years learning, and then I went out to the world and sought knowledge. So many years, many trials, many towns.
And so the conversation continues on with him in that way.
I would like to ask Sister Wendy about the Dawn Father and how she came to be in service to the Dawn Father.
She looks back at you and she goes, "Where exactly are you from, my child?" She says to you. You don't see many of your kind in the Empire. I'm curious. I don't mean to be rude.
I'm a little bit from all over. I was an orphan myself.
Really?
Yes.
What happened to your family?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember growing up on the streets.
She goes, the Dawn Father. He is one of the many of the Empire's entrusted deities. Those that are amongst the official deities and prime deities, if you will, that can be worshipped in the Empire.
Did you just randomly choose, or did the Dawn Father call to you?
I guess you could say called to me. I mean, a necessity in the Empire, I guess you could say.
You had to choose one?
You have to choose one? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
Well, within the agreed upon pantheon was the Empire. It says one has to worship. Yourself, do you pay homage to any particular deity? You know the official deities: Behemoth, the Platinum Dragon, Ion, the Knowing Mentor, Palor, the Dawn Father, Erathis, the Lawbearer, Moradin, the Allhammer, and the Raven Queen, Matron of Death, are the official 6 deities of the Empire.
I don't necessarily follow any of the prime deities. I've only had exposure to a lesser idol.
Oh, what would that be, if you don't mind me asking?
The Luxon.
I have not heard of this.
It also deals with light and feeling isolated. So I really connected with the isolated and yearning for unity part, which is why I'm interested about Palor, because that is also bringer of light.
Well, she says to you, the Empire is full of many individuals who have worshipped the prime deities, if you will. Some of them have their hearts and their minds in the right place, and others not so much so. So, be careful, my child. Speaking of this Luxon, I do happen to know that is something that is from the Krynn Dynasty, and to be honest, looking at you and your kind, I know you're not common to the Empire, for sure. Is that where you're from, though, the Krynn Dynasty?
Yes.
I am disturbed by the conflicts with the Krynn Dynasty and the Empire. I don't know personally what to think about it, but I am very concerned for the children that are in our Abbey's charge.
Yeah, I don't agree with the conflict either.
I don't understand why it's even occurring, honestly. Do you have any insight on that? She says to you. She asks you.
Just a little bit. Just, what I've heard on my travels. I know that the Krynn Dynasty is looking for religious artifacts that have been stolen, supposedly by the Empire, and the Empire is trying to use them to defeat the Krynn Dynasty. It's a whole lot of mess.
I've heard none of this. So where did you hear this from?
Around.
She nods, kind of understandingly, She goes, I understand. Well, I do appreciate you and your friends helping us extract these children from the abbey near Talisman. It's the Dragonborn in the area have been of great aid to us, but even they have fallen under some judgment from the Empire. And as such, we felt the children really need to be removed from the area, just due to the threats of the warring factions in the area.
Well, as you can imagine, orphans are very near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad I can help. I think a lot of there's a lot about the Krynn Dynasty that is misunderstood or misjudged.
Well, perhaps in a day's travel here, we can discuss, and perhaps I can be a bit of enlightened by that. Then, if there's any questions I can answer for you, I'll do my best.
Sounds good.
So, as you're traveling on, you find yourselves kind of making your way through the Marrow Valley, and then finally starting to head eastwardly towards where the river is that winds through the Marrow Valley. You can actually kind of see it in the home screen of the Foundry desktop if you look there. You eventually begin making your way eastwardly towards the mountains, and up ahead of you see a small copse of trees. Copse of trees, I guess would be the word. I don't know if corpse would be the right one. Cope.
It's corpse.
Corpse. I don't like that word. It sounds wrong, right?
No, it's a core. I'm sorry. Core.
No, it's a. You know what? I'm googling it.
Google it.
No, it's like a copse of tree, a corpse, but it can't be corpse, right? That just makes that sounds wrong.
No, there's no R in it.
Copes.
Like gathering a group, a gaggle of trees ahead of you. And
by the way,
what is it, Elizabeth?
It is
Copse of tree. Okay, a copse of tree.
Interesting.
Of trees. Yes, Raphael.
I had a problem with my Foundry window, and so I closed out of it, not knowing that I couldn't get back in.
You should be able to. Just click on the hyperlink and get back in. Just reload and select your character's name, and you should get right back in.
I'm just kind of sitting back watching.
Raphael is grayed out, so I can't click on it.
Refresh again.
Just refresh your browser.
Okay.
What do you say, Nick?
I'm just kind of sitting back, just observing, keeping an eye on where we're traveling to.
Okay. So as you're making your way towards the trees, the road begins heading northwardly, and then veering off on a northwesterly route. And of course, you're beginning to make your way off the road. And up ahead of you, you see what appear to be three individuals. You recognize their emblems. They're the members of the Righteous Brand guards. And you see two of them, and then another one. It looks like he has he's obviously a member of the Righteous Brand, but he's probably more aligned with the wizardly sect of the Empire.
Should we kill him?
And you see him talking to what appear to be three individuals. 1 second. Where did my
No,
note go?
Blixie, we can't kill everybody we see.
We could try.
Four individuals. I'm sorry. 1 second. I gotta look up something real quick.
No murder hobos.
The time will come, and then you can unleash your short bow.
My crossbow. I've swapped it out for a light crossbow.
You can unleash your crossbow.
And the fury of the small.
Just gotta wait.
Ooh, wait.
Push that lip out any further, a bird can sit on it.
As long as it's a very little bird, I would not be okay. I would not have a problem with that.
A hummingbird.
Yeah.
I don't think they get much smaller than that.
And you go, hum.
That one I looked for. Sorry, I've lost the
What?
note here. 1 second.
While you do that, Pandora, you know, I actually picked a deity as well when I was doing my backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I should have, but though I grew up in the light of the Luxon, I also have the deity Avandra, the change bringer. So I'm kind of bi-religious.
I'd like to say I'm pantheist. Or atheist. I don't know.
No. Atheist.
Growing up an orphan on the street is kind of rough. You don't really believe in a god.
See, I had a very different upbringing than you.
All right. So yeah, and you see on the cloak of the road figure, what appears to be like a spiked pitchfork almost with three gems kind of spiking, one up and two out, and you know that's the emblem of the Cerberus assembly. And these three individuals are like, as you get closer and closer, they haven't quite noticed you yet because they're intently focused on these other four individuals, but two young children and two what you think are older adults, probably in their late 30s, early 40s, and the children are probably before their probably not even their 20s yet. And you notice the two more the righteous brand guards are really pressing hard and talking at the family, who are actually on their knees as these individuals are talking to them. And another one, the second one, is actually going through their belongings and throwing things out on the ground in kind of a rough way. And then you notice the robed acolyte, if you will, kind of turns and sees y'all coming up the road when Sister Wendy, she says, "Oh, what is that?"
Do you mind if we stop and check it out?
Please do. And all the wagons stop, probably a good 200 yards out, 150 yards out. How is that? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to go on PBS Kids anymore.
Okay. Why are we stopping?
I need you to mute, Becky.
Remember, we haven't had this conversation. Why are we stopping?
Investigate.
No, I'm yelling. Yeah, I'm yelling.
I don't know about everyone else, but your audio is breaking up for me. All I caught of that was your yelling.
Yeah.
I kind of tap her on the shoulders and point towards the people being interrogated or whatever's going on.
All right, so who heads up to investigate the individuals up on the road? So
I'm going to
Blix,
whistle for Nick to come join us.
Nick.
You're the talker. You're the pretty face.
So Raphael, you see the people you're accompanying with, like disembarking from the wagons, and the wagons being pulled to a stop. Up on the road, you see 6 individuals. 4 of them are on their knees. 3 other ones are raffling.
Rifling.
Thank you. Through their belongings and throwing them across the road. One of them is berating. You can even hear from now. You should have stayed on your farms. The Empire needs you to. And it's going on about them properly, taking the risk.
Is there a place for me to hide nearby? Like if I snuck up behind Nick?
You're actively being observed by the acolyte, and the road is clear on either side of it. Part of how the Empire, does speedy transportation of their troops is good roads and good clearance on either side. So you would have to sneak off into the high grasses a good ways from the edge of the road, which would.
I'll hide behind Nick.
All right.
Which I know is I'm not even going to roll for it.
So you'll make y'all's way up to the gathering. So we have Blix, we have Nick, we have Pandora. Yes or no? Kate, are you going up?
Who's gonna stay with the carts?
Okay. Raphael.
Yes, I'll stay with the carts, I think.
Okay. So the rest of you who make your way up to the assembled individual ahead of you, you see the acolyte kind of take a step behind the righteous brands, and you see him reach down into his pockets, but you don't see what he's grabbing. You approach. You're now just a short distance from them, probably less than 30 yards. What do you do?
Just
I
kind
yell,
of
"Oh, sorry.
just greeting.
I'm nothing if not difficult this evening.
Nick, what do you do?
Just call out greetings. Just inquire to what's going on.
None of your business. This is the business of the Empire. You should move on. The fellow who was actually rifling through their belongings says to you.
All right.
We're actually on Empire business at the moment.
And the Empire is about protecting the people, isn't it?
Like I said, this is official business.
These look like just regular farmers. What kind of official business could they have with you?
And now he looks a little flustered, and he kind of moves forward. Are you doubting what I'm saying? They have left their farms. We need the farmers on their on their lands, working them to feed the Empire.
So they're slaves?
What? No, no one of the Empire.
I step up to him, just face to face to him. It's like this
his
is
hand
totally...
drops down to his sword. He's holding it, and it's still holstered. He's like, kind of sternly looks at you, and you're eye to eye.
Yeah.
His breath reeks a little bit of something. Make a maybe an insight or perception check. Make a perception check.
I make eye contact with Pandora as if to say, "Let's do this. Let's go."
And I kind of go, "Wait, we're okay." Nick needs more coffee.
Clearly.
Clearly. His breath reeks, but his teeth aren't very well kept at all. And he kind of looks at all of you. He's just like, you need to move on.
I would like to reach out with my divine sense and see if there's anything blessed or cursed.
Can you drop your divine sense into the chat if possible?
Mm-hmm.
While she's doing that, I just want to look him just like dead in the eye. Just soldier to soldier, just like there's a better way to do this.
So the individual with the robes on, he radiates a definite tinge of foul intentions to you. The other two ones, while not necessarily bad in their own ways, they're definitely self-centered and extremely greedy focused.
All of my hair is standing on edge as I put my hand on the handle of my battle axe.
That's a lot of hair.
And so what do you say, Nick?
Just eye to eye, just kind of staring him down. I guess intimidation.
Make an intimidation check, please.
Yeah. Let me go there.
You can make it public.
Well, I'm intimidated.
All right.
Just tell him it's like there's a better way to do this.
So the acolyte kind of standing behind the two guards kind of looks at all of y'all, looks back at the wagons, and looks at the family on the ground. He has his eyes kind of narrow a little bit, like he's plotting, thinking about what his options are. And he puts a hand up on the guard and he goes, "They are right, my friend. There's better times for such things. Nonetheless, they had nothing that was wrong amongst them. You may all pass." You may all pass, he says to him. Kind of dismissively waves his hands. The family quickly stands up, grabs their equipment, their clothing, and backpacks, and things of that sort, and kind of nods and says, "Thank you, my lords. Thank you, kind sirs." They say to the guards, and says, "My lords," to y'all. And the family just quickly packs their equipment, dropping things here and there, grabbing them back up, and nervously moves past y'all. You can tell they're all obviously hungry and starved. Their children look emaciated. They have a certain odor about them, like they haven't bathed in days. Their clothing is ragged and dirty as they quickly make their way past you. And the other three individuals, they kind of nod as the family moves by, and they take steps back away from y'all, and then turn and move back and start heading, northward up the road away from y'all.
Right.
And the acolyte, the one in the robes with the service assemblies emblems on it, it says, "May peace be with you. May your travels
you acolyte
be safe."
And to you, acolyte.
And he stops, turns back around, and goes, "And who might you be?"
I am Nick. This here's my friend Blix and Pandora.
He kind
That's all
of
he came, right?
He kind of nods, travels safely, turns and walks away, catching up with his friends as they head up the road away from y'all.
I'm gonna stay and watch as they walk away.
Okay.
Where did the family run off to?
Up to where
Okay.
up to where your wagons are, where the sister has intercepted them and is like handing them some of their food supplies, and she's actually putting some silver into their hands, and you can hear her saying, "Felderen's up the road, not too far from here. Just a few hours, and you'll find safety there. I'm so sorry what happened." And you hear they came upon us out of the woods, and the conversations sound like they actually got kind of like ambushed, almost. You're hearing them talking along up the wagons, Raphael.
Thank you.
Seems like they're gonna be trouble.
So I walk up to the family and like I'm calm. I shake off the aggressiveness and ask if they're okay with a slight purr under my voice that I can't actually do as a person.
Okay, and they kind of, the children are wide-eyed looking at you and stand behind their parents, and we're fine. Just well, they took our monies, but that's fine. It's better that than our lives. And thank you so much, and sister, thank you. This more than enough compensates us for our losses, and we will make our way to Feldren.
Stay safe.
And with the extra food, water, and a bit of silver that the sister gave them, they begin making their way southward towards Feldren.
Does the sister know who the acolyte was?
Do what? Say this again?
Does the sister know who the acolyte was?
She does not. Kate, make a insight, or actually a perception check, please. And anybody else who's trained in it could possibly. Let me see here. Could possibly make that.
My Chrome is locked up for the moment.
Is that not opening?
A perception check?
Yes. If you're yeah.
If you're trained in it.
Well,
Trained
I
in
am
wit.
proficient in it, but that didn't help.
Actually, Kate, not perception. Kate, you need to make a not insight. It's a no, never mind, Kate. You're actually not trained in any of them. My bad. Sorry. But you're fine. Let's see what we got here.
I'm trained in insight, history, arcana, and survival.
It doesn't say you are. It's weird. What's going on here? Huh. Alright, yeah, so if you're trained in insight, make an insight check, I guess. So what do we get here? Let me see. 9, Blix. Alright. Blick and Nick. Their clothing, their gear and was ragged and not in very good condition. And just from what you saw on the Felder, the guards tend to take a bit of pride in their equipment and their clothing.
Scavenger deserters.
Most
I knew
likely.
we should have fucked them up.
The family?
No, the soldiers that we ran across, and the acolyte too. Right.
Yeah, the cloaks and equipment looked kind of dirty and frayed on the edges. Like hadn't been washed in a while. The odor from them wasn't very pleasant either.
Yeah, I expressed that to the group. Looks like they're troublemakers. I don't think they're part of the regular units.
What do you suggest we do?
Nothing for now. Just keep an eye out for them.
All right. I hop back up into the wagon.
I do
Okay.
the same.
All right, give me 1 second.
Zoom is suggesting my internet is unstable. I
What
think,
does Zoom know?
right?
It's so personal, isn't it?
Rude.
Well, Zoom was unstable earlier this week, so
Yes, it was. Give me 1 second, please.
I might need more pudding.
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
out of character, it's probably good that we don't know the acolyte's name. Probably have to kill him later.
Yes. Hang on. Sorry, my foundry disconnected on me, so I've got to
Oh no.
get this resynced. What a pain in the ass. Alright. Come on, computer. Good lord. Technology, I swear. Yeah, I'm getting a message too that the internet is slow.
I'm on Google and I get that all the time. It's the weirdest thing. I thought being on
Apparently, my computer now thinks I'm lime green.
Oh, I like the way you're fading into the cat.
He's been doing that for a little bit.
You can see it's getting dark here. I'm losing my
That's what's
green.
really behind me.
Great, now I have Sound of Music in my head. You're welcome.
All right, so y'all, you know, have a few moments conversation, and the sister's like, yeah, that was not a normal behavior I've seen from the Empire. I don't quite understand it. Perhaps they, as you were saying, Nick, they're perhaps deserters. But this is where we depart from the road anyway. Are we all ready?
Good to go.
Always ready.
Always ready, huh? All right.
That was weird.
There we go. Let's go rescue some orphans in the mountains.
Want some more chips?
All right.
From the Nazis.
Take it in.
You begin slowly trekking off the road, and the grass and the weeds and the fields begin to get higher and higher. Pretty soon, Blix, you find you can easily disappear within the tall reeds and grass and cane of the fields here, and you begin making your way towards the woods. But you notice the lead wagoneer actually leads along the edge of the woods and not actually through it. And within an hour, and this day is kind of progressing, you've made a good amount of time. You're probably getting closer to 4, maybe 5 o'clock. And up ahead of you see the water kind of rushing by up ahead of you as you kind of round or come over the top of a hill with the trees towering off to the north of you. And the mountains way off in the distance, not way off, but off in the distance. You can see the tall peaks. Some of you are like, kind of like in the background you have going on right there, Blix. But you can see that the mountains off in the distance. So there are white peaks ahead of you to the east. And as you get near the river, the day is kind of moving on, and the sun's beginning to move off, and it's starting to get a slight of a reddish golden hue in the sky. And the oxen, the oxen are all pulled up, and in general, they're like, it's probably time to camp before we cross over. And they begin circling up the wagons and making preparations for camp.
I assist the drivers.
Okay. All right. Give me 3 to 4 minutes, and then we can pick up from there. So if y'all need to go to the restroom or something like that, you can take a quick little break if you like.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So you find yourselves kind of right by the edge of the woods. They've kind of pulled the wagons into the woods, kind of spread them out amongst the trees. Find yourselves kind of in the center. All the sister and the carriage folks have actually bedded down underneath the wagons or on top of the wagons. Notice the actual handlers are underneath the wagons. You find yourselves all kind of scattered in the middle. How do you wish to arrange yourselves?
I'll be back in a few minutes. My girlfriend needs some help.
Okay. How do you wish to arrange yourselves? I'll put Raphael on a wagon.
I am going to sleep underneath this wagon over here.
Okay.
We are camping, right? That's what we're doing here?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Who is going to be on first watch?
I'm going to stay propped up against something where I can see the kids visibly.
I'll take first watch.
I'm gonna be up on top of this wagon.
So Nick's on first watch. Is there anybody else on first watch? Or how are you gonna split the watches up? 3 by each person, or?
I'll take second watch.
Well, there's only. That's fine. I'll take third.
So Kate is on the third. I'm sorry. So that's 2, 4, 6. It's 2 hours each, or you can do a fourth. 2, 4, 6, 8. Actually, it'll be 2.5. 2. Yeah. So you want to do a fourth watch?
We could do overlapping watches.
Huh?
I'll take fourth watch.
Okay. So, Nick, your companions all bed down, resting. Some of them are doing their studies. The first watch is really people are eating, getting ready to bed down. You kind of are you staying within the center of the wagons, or are you kind of like circling about the wagons, or what are you doing? How are you proceeding with your watch?
I'm gonna see if there's any high ground. If not, I'll just walk the perimeter.
Okay. There's not really high ground. You can certainly walk the perimeter. All right. Let me see something here real quick. All right, so your watch progresses. It's quite quiet. The sun begins to crest down off the distance, so the temperature drops pretty quick from the comfortable mid 80s, upper 80s in that area down to kind of getting down to the 70s, you would think. So it's definitely cooling off, and you find yourself pulling your cloak over yourself a little bit. And the ox have kind of got their heads down, and they're just eating at the grass here and there. Next up will be Blix. So you go wake up Blix, or Nick?
Yes, I go wake up Blix.
All right. Curious, how do you wake Blix up? With a quick stab with the sword, or?
Just a boot to the head. No. I just kind of like come up and say, Blix, wake up. It's your watch.
5 more minutes, Mom.
No, Blix. I'm not your mother. Look at me.
All right, I'm up.
I tell her what I've been doing, walking around. I haven't seen anything. Just give a basic report.
Okay. So Blake says, you see your friend Nick begin to bed down. Are you taking her place where she was resting, or?
No, I'm gonna take this wagon up to the north here.
Okay. I'm gonna move you kind of right here, Nick. So as you're getting down from from underneath your wagon, you kind of notice Sister Wendy was kind of looking off in your direction. She had her eyes open as you were going to watch. She kind of smiles in your direction, and you know she's holding an emblem with her hand around it. She smiles in your direction. She's making some kind of words, but then she kind of turns, puts her back towards you, and then lays her head down, and she goes back to sleep.
Aw, she's sleep blessing. That's adorable. I intend to patrol like kind of around the whole area for my watch.
Okay.
Sneaky, sneaky. Do not underestimate my sneakiness.
All right. Can you give me a perception check, Blix? Blind.
I perceive all the things, I assume.
Yes. Give me 1 second, please.
Are you getting battle ready?
Looks as you make your way around the southern side of your camp, you see 3 individuals near the trees looking in your direction. They're all kind of squatted down on their knees, and they have their swords drawn, kind of looking in your direction.
Since I was being sneaky, did they see me?
Give me a stealth check, please. Yeah, so you're like right underneath the ox. You're actually on top of on the battlefield. But you're kind of like underneath it, looking out across. You actually catch wind of them, kind of at this angle here. You're kind of looking through here, and that's where you see them up in this area as you're kind of looking through. You recognize the two. You recognize the 2 of the guards you had seen earlier, and the acolyte, but there's a 3rd one with them this time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they have crossbows drawn, and the guards are kind of looking in that direction. And the acolyte says, kind of like points forward and goes, "I think it's time." You can barely hear his voice over the birds and the crickets mentioning that. Where? Let's see here. We have
Remember, Blix, I am sleeping.
all right. So what do you wish to do, Blix? They haven't quite noticed you yet.
I'm going to sneak backwards away from them
Mm-hmm.
to this cart where I'm going to try to very, very, very quietly shake Pandora and Raphael awake.
Make a stealth check. Well, actually, you don't need to. The other one's just fine. So, who do you wake up first?
Pandora.
Okay. So, Pandora, you what do you tell her when you try to wake her up, Nick? She's purring.
Pandy, we're under attack. Get up.
I kind of nudge Raphael with my foot and wake him up.
I'm a little bit groggy. What's going on?
Shh.
There's somebody out there.
Ah, trouble's afoot. I climb down out of the wagon.
Okay, so you've been making your way out of the wagon. They're not aware of y'all's presence yet to the south of you, but to the north, that's not the same thing. All right.
How soon into the watch this is going on?
Huh?
How soon into the second watch is this?
Probably within 45 minutes to an hour.
Long enough for you to be asleep. Sorry.
I'd ask.
It was a good question.
So this happened right before you woke up your companions. So it's an advantage. What's your armor class, Nick?
I
No,
believe
you're sleeping. Remember that.
it's 19.
All right. All right. So up to the north, nobody else sees this. One of the Empire guards slinks up onto the wagon. You're on it or underneath the wagon, Nick?
I would say underneath, but let me
Right,
roll something.
You're underneath? Okay. So you're kind of underneath the wagon, and one of these bandit-like Empire people kind of reach underneath the wagon and goes to stab you, but one of the oxen kind of steps forward a little bit, and the wagon shifts a tad bit, and his blade goes wide, skims off your armor, which you're going to be fatigued tomorrow for sleeping in your armor, by the way. Anybody who sleeps in the armor is fatigued the next day. Don't forget that. And the armor goes off of your armor. You're sound asleep, and you feel this violent, like poof, against your body. You kind of open one of your eyes, and you see an Imperial Guard, one of the righteous brand that you saw earlier, but a different one, with a scimitar. He's pulling away from you. He's got this toothy grin, several teeth missing, cavities just all throughout his mouth. Back to the other group. So, Raphael. So I see Pandora stepped off the wagon. Raphael, what are you doing?
Sorry, you're talking to me. Do I notice this, or am I looking in the wrong direction?
You're looking to the south.
I did not know about that, so I was only letting them know about the.
So you're looking in this direction where Nick was. Blix was pointing to. You see the little arrow moving back and forth on the map.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Do I hear the tink?
Make a perception check with advantage.
I can see dark. I have dark vision, so I should be able to see them if they're in my line of sight.
So you see some shapes moving around to the south of you, by the bushes and behind the wagons. Pandora, 12.
I think I'm gonna draw my crossbow on one of those shapes.
So y'all begin to all move. They see y'all like getting up and moving, and they immediately begin to fire off their arrows, their crossbow bolts in y'all's direction, not waiting. So let's go ahead and
Initialize!
Yes.
I'm ready.
Let's fuck them up.
It's now, Blix. The time is now.
Oh my God, they're tribbles. They're multiplying.
They're all over the place.
The time was before when there were only a few of them and they didn't expect it. This is not the time.
Shit.
so
Oh, I haven't woken up yet, huh?
you have not. Raphael, you'll see a fist in the UI in the upper right hand corner, kind of like this. That is the combat track. If you click on that, you should see your character with a 20-sided dice beside it. Click on the dice, and it will generate your initiative.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Kratz, I need you to roll initiative. Kate.
Katsidi.
Katsidi.
The great
letting
and
me.
beautiful ZD.
It's not letting me.
I'll roll it for you real quick. Done.
A little icon on it.
It's not letting me.
I
Again.
I rolled it for you.
Go for it.
Refresh your UI, Kate. right.
How's your game going?
Okay, Nick. So you're up first. You felt that sudden thud against you. You wake up. You see this individual like leaning over you as you're slightly underneath the wagon.
Alright.
What do you do?
I'm going to roll out from underneath the wagon.
Hang on 1 second.
Yep.
1 second.
I'm so ready for battle and I'm last.
We'll try to save some targets for you.
Leave me at least one. I want to hack off his head.
I'm asleep, so it'll totally skip me.
Well, we're about to start shouting, so.
My action will be I woke up.
I was hoping I could get to all
what do y'all
y'all
do?
now. Nick's up.
Nick, what do you do?
Get out from underneath the wagon, stand
Uh-huh.
up, pull my great sword, and yell.
Word.
All right. Okay, you hear a loud, piercing scream from Nick.
Ah!
Apparently now I'm awake.
All right, Nick, you're prone. So remember, you attack with disadvantage.
I said I rolled out from underneath the thing and get up.
So you can, okay, so you're gonna roll out. That's half your move, standing up, and you attack. Okay, that's fine. Then you got 21. That is a hit.
I should hope.
14 points of damage.
Okay.
Yes.
Timer's on. Sweet.
All right, so you roll out, and he's like, ugh, he kind of swings his
Nice.
scimitar at you, but you go with your greatsword right into his chest, into his sternum right here, splitting him open. His old rotten armor just does not protect him from you, and you deal him a deadly blow. How do you do this?
Like you said, just like straight in the chest, up through the shoulder.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you like that, right through it and down through his body, easily taking him out. Where is he? Yeah, he's dead. All right. And you see-
Like butter.
yeah, you see him go down quickly, Nick. So half your move standing up, you attacked him. That means you got another. You have a movement or a bonus or reactions if you have anything that you can do.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
And now we die.
And this one here has no desire to get hand to hand with you and attacks you with his light crossbow.
Do I have cover
22.
with the wagon?
You get no, because you're standing up.
Okay.
22 versus your armor class. That would
That
be
hits.
it's a hit.
You're rolling blind, by the way, Exa.
Oh, that's okay. Hits you
Is
for
it?
hits you for 2 points of damage, Nick.
Ouch. You got it? Okay.
Kitty.
Yeah, I got it for you.
I look over at him. I just smile.
Okay. So yeah, see, a crossbow bolt catches you in your shoulder. What's up, Sonya? All right.
Sonya!
Catches you in your
Sonya!
shoulder from behind you. And
Sonya!
this one here, where is that one? So many enemies. All right. This one moves to here, squats down to get some cover, and fires at Raphael, who's on top of the wagon. It's an easy shot. Takes that shot at Raphael with a light crossbow. 9. Yeah. So yeah, he takes that crossbow. He's nervous and fires like that, Raphael. But you see him moving, and you quickly duck down, and the crossbow bolt flies wide and over your head, right past you, Pandora. And he goes off in the woods. So he moved 5, 10, 15. He'll move back over here for cover. And then the next one's up. That would be Blix. What do you do?
So all of these down here have cover?
Yeah, because they're squatted down and by the bush. Yes, they have cover.
What's that? What's that?
I am going to climb up onto the wagon so I can see them better, maybe.
All right.
And I am going to shoot at them. Pew, pew, pew.
All right.
Good job. For 5 points of damage. And then
So who are you shooting? Which one?
this one here.
Let's
This
see, 23. He's got a. Yeah. So yeah, that does hit. 5 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah.
And
So
then
you
I-
fire off a crossbow like, right into his gut. He's like, ugh!
And then I jump down off the cart and hide behind the bush as the bonus action hide.
Okay.
You want to
Maybe,
stealth check on
blind?
that?
Yes. Blind stealth, please. All right. Got it. Thank you. And if you're done with your turn, in your turn. All right. That one's dead. Now we're moving from the combat. All right. And then this guy here, he will. 5. So. He moves to here. He will fire a crossbow at the nearest target, which is Kazidi.
It's TZ.
You're still on the ground, right?
Kazidi. TC. No, I'm awake.
All right. So
Yeah,
yeah, he fires armor,
I don't know if I stood up
fires
or
a crossbow
anything, but
at
yeah,
you,
I'm on the ground.
and misses
Okay.
you. Goes flying over your head, and then he will move. To here, back out of the way. And Raphael, you're up. What do you wish to do?
Do I have a clear shot at anybody with my crossbow?
They have cover. You can fire at the
Okay.
ones by the bushes, but they do have cover.
Okay. What about the one back there? It's probably covered by the wagon, I imagine.
Over by over here. So,
Okay.
Raphael, if you hold the X key down on your keyboard, you'll see a hand appear.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're wanting to consider that one there, you can do that. Also, you'll notice if you, on the left-hand side of your interface, you have what appears to be like a head and shoulders, and then a square box, a circle, and then a ruler. If you click on the ruler, you can then drag and drop your mouse, and you can get a little measuring tool to get distances and stuff.
Right.
So
But
you
the
want
question more is
so that one there, he
Is it
has
behind
a lot of cover behind that wagon because the
okay.
the runner board at the front is higher, and so it gives him a good bit of cover.
Okay. So I think what I'm going to do.
No, not that.
How do I end up doing him?
See how fast can I move? 30 feet. All right. Close that. Ruler. Yeah. I think if I move there.
All right. So you want to do is go get the
Look,
head and your little 4 squares. Click on that on your interface, left hand side. Then you can move your token. There you go.
Maybe cat figure my way.
So you move there, and then what? Now you have you can attack either one of these two without cover. Well, actually, the robed one has a little bit of cover, but the guard here does not. He's already been previously damaged. What do you want to do?
I'm going to fire my crossbow
Uh-huh.
at this first one here closest to me.
All right. Fire away. Roll a d20. So, on your character sheet, when you open your character sheet up, you'll see inventory.
Right.
And so you'll see your crossbow in here somewhere. You'll see what looks like a little head of some sort, right?
Okay.
So if you put your pointer over the head, it turns into an orange d20. If you click that, it'll drop a roll into the chat box.
All right. Is that right? That doesn't sound right.
So it says firebolt.
That's Teasy.
No, that's the wrong person. Try again. So on
That's me. No, it's not supposed to be doing that.
I wonder, does he have the wrong character sheet up?
No.
So you go to the inventory tab.
Okay.
You'll see the
Right,
words.
I'm on the inventory tab.
No.
You see crossbow, comma light.
That's
Right.
Move your mouse over to
Might be
where the little.
Oh, the head. Got
The
it.
head, yeah.
Okay. I was looking at the silhouette head, not the.
All right. So
Got
now in the chat, if you go back to chat, you'll see attack or damage. Click the attack button.
Okay. And blind GM roll normal.
No, it's normal roll. Normal roll. 10. All right. So you fire off your crossbow. Phew! It misses. It goes wide over his head. Anything else?
That was my bonus action, wasn't it?
That's your attack. You did a move and an attack. Do you have any bonus actions?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I'm gonna duck down to make myself a smaller target.
So you're gonna take a knee or something like that, right?
Right.
Okay. Now you don't have any cover around you, so it's gonna be a little harder. But we'll keep that in mind. All right. That's the end of your turn. So on your interface, you'll see the words "in turn" at the top of the Foundry interface. Do you see that button? Should be somewhere up here, I think.
Top center, perhaps.
Do you see that?
No, not yet.
Up here somewhere? In turn.
Is it up here by forest scene?
It's up here somewhere.
No, like right up in this, like for me, it shows up right here as like a pop-up button at the top of the window.
That's okay. I'll end your turn for
I
you.
see intern here. I'll
There
click
you
that.
go. That's it. Good. All right. So now.
there you go.
All right. And then. Well, that's up. Started that crap again. And let's see here.
Now we're in the side shooter. Side scrolling shooter.